but in England we all wish, particularly in Sheffield, that we have a council leader, that we have a political leader, maybe one day a Liberal Democrats leader like Shafaq. A round of applause for a young man who has achieved so much. Shafaq.
I'm not sure what I can say, you know, to be honest with you. Thank you for organising it. I didn't think it was going to be more of me. I thought this was going to be welcoming Colin and Penny and others, so sorry it seems to have become the Shafaq show rather than the actual new leadership. All I can say is that everybody says you're wonderful, 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 but actually no individual can do anything without the backing of many people. So whilst, you know, you might say Mr. Ali, the Paul Scriven, and myself, or Mr. Ali there from the Bangladeshi community, there were only 2 of us there. But it wasn't, it was the 42 others that actually acted. And they're the ones that didn't get the limelight because, you know, the likes of me and Scriven used to always dominate. And, you know, so without the backing of Simon, Colin, Penny, Ian Oakland, you know, I'm going to get into trouble if I don't miss anyone, but you know, like people like Keith Hill, who used to be my advisor, and you know, it takes some going to advise me. You know, Keith Hill and Jonathan Marston did a good job. You know, these are the people who behind the scenes came, and like you say, my always emphasis was, look, be pretty honest with people. You know, people aren't fools, particularly in this day and age, and if you can't do anything, just tell them, be the bearer of bad news, but do it in a gentle way. Because otherwise, my view is that you will always come back to me with other issues. And if I let you down or mislead you on this occasion, then the next interaction is going to be more difficult. And that's something I pride myself in. On a personal level, yes, the defeat was difficult. I wasn't expecting to lose, but I wasn't expecting to win easily either in Crooks. And I thought, you know, I always look to the positive side for a couple of years off, but it looks like tonight that's probably not going to happen. You know, clearly, like someone said, you don't need initials after your name to do good and to do things. So that's my view when I lost. I thought, fine, it's difficult, but actually I've still got a good team of councillors that are there, and, you know, with Colin being my deputy, people say, oh, he's always been out doing lots of work, but actually it's a team. And a lot of times, councillors know this, but the community people won't. But actually, the reason I was able to get out more often was because Colin was able to cover for me to do certain events and things that were important. And I took the view that rather than us both be there, Colin, you take this part and I'll go and do this bit. So hence I was being more visible. But actually, a lot of the stuff I done has been because of the elected members, the Lib Dem group. And in terms of, you know, going back, Halim, you mentioned the Pakistan top and the England tracksuit. We've failed to mention the Sheffield Wednesday shirts, actually, because actually that's been my real passion. But it's been really great that actually I have been able to do something. I mean, I wasn't, like Gail said, I wasn't politically trapped. I wasn't. In my forum days, I didn't really, was one way or the other. My dad used to entertain Labour Party people in my house. I can sometimes get people to remind me of that. But actually, I just wanted to do good for my own community where I lived and make sure. And I didn't say, when I say my own community, it was everyone. It wasn't anyone that was of a BME background. That's why I prided myself that Tinsley Forum was the voice of Tinsley. We didn't have a black Tinsley Forum and an Asian Tinsley Forum, we just had the one. And I took that away in terms of council. Yes, sometimes I needed persuading, the likes of Peter Moore and Paul Scriven twisted me on to say, you've stood in Darnell twice, you've lost twice, we're not going to let you stand again. If you put your name down for Darnell again, we're not going to approve of you. So you have to do so. Sometimes I was forced to do things that I didn't want to do, but actually on reflection it was for the good. And I remember Paul Scriven saying to me, look, I know you'll not appreciate it now, but actually if you do get elected elsewhere, you'll probably be able to do more for your community than you actually realise. You just trust me in it. And you know, people like Peter Moore, who did lots of work for the party, and Paul Scriven, and actually the calmest, coolest and wisest amongst them, David Baker. He's not here yet. Is he here? No. Not here. David Baker has always been the calming influence. He'll always say, young man, come here. I need to tell you, knock some sense into you. And you know, I mean, once was, I think it was pretty early on, we we're at the Remembrance Sunday, and myself, Paul Scriven and John Motherson had just been appointed Chief Exec, and we all turned up looking really flash with our suits, brand new suits, wanting to look at the park because we knew hundreds of people were watching us. Unknown to, well, I didn't bother, and I doubt John all did either. We didn't check the forecast, and it was torrential rain, and it rained for an hour, we couldn't move. And I remember going back in, and David said, "Yes, young men, you looked very pretty when you came in, but you look like a bunch of idiots now. Next time, get a big jacket, and needs be, you can always take it off." But it's those wise words of people like David Baker that actually help us. I don't know what I'm going to do, if you want me to be honest. You know, I still think, you know, end of the day, I'm always going to be a Liberal Democrat, so there's no kind of moving away. I did a lot of work for the party before I ever even stood as a councillor. I think some of you will know I was the treasurer of the group, which was a challenge in itself. Ian will know that. And, you know, I will continue to fight. You know, we've gone through some difficult times, but it's been an honour and a pleasure. You know, when you think about my background, some of you will know, but others might not. I wasn't actually born in this country. I was born in Pakistan, from quite a poor background. My dad worked here in the steelworks, and you know, we had a difficult upbringing. So I never dreamt of anything like being able to even venture into a town, or let alone be a councillor. So it's been good. I'm sure I'll be around. I'll still do the work. It looks like my Lib Dem colleagues are not going to let me go away. They're hell-bent on making sure I come back. Clearly, it's always up to the electorate what happens. But you can rest assured that I will continue to work hard. I mean, on an issue like, actually, Mr. Ali from the Bangladeshi community mentioned it to me last night, that, you know, there's a citizen of this city who's in prison in Bangladesh on some really, really unfortunate circumstances. And they said to me, "Oh, Shaf, you know, we wanted a letter of support to say, you know this individual, and now you're not off the council, we're not sure what's going to happen." And I said, "Don't worry. You know, just because I'm off the council doesn't mean I can't speak out for you. And my colleagues will also speak out for you, and probably I'll have a word with Colin Ross and Penny to fill you in." And Mojid Khan was suffering quite badly, actually. He'd been in prison in Bangladesh. I think we should go and support him, because actually he's a good man. I've known him for a number of years, Mr. Awad there and others. And it's those sort of things.
And he's the chair of the...
Yes, he was. He's the chair, so Simon will know him as well. Simon, the chair of the Bangladeshi Centre. I'll fill you in later, but he's actually been taken into custody in Bangladesh on some very dubious charges because of the business interests he's got there. Somebody's trying to chase him out of the country. And there's people like that that we should stand up for. I mean, in terms of what I am, there's, like I said, my family's been the bedrock. My wife, my children, my brothers, but also my dream team, as I call them. And they're the ones who enjoy the rides in the VW Passat. Bernard's the #1 member of my dream team. Steve Aries is another member of my dream team. Rashid Mahmood is also a member of my dream team. And there's a few others like Mike Shaw. Occasionally I prize out the office and come. And the others, new members of my dream team, have been Julian. Not many of you will know, but the Lib Dems know who Julian is, and Sarah. And actually, those of you who might not know Sarah, stand up, Sarah, for a second. Sarah is actually the daughter of Alan Whitehouse, one of our colleagues from Broomhill, and one of me, Paul Scriven, and Alan Whitehouse used to be councillors. And I tell you, we've got some tales to tell about how we used to argue about Paul Scriven, myself, and Alan Whitehouse. You know, so the Lib Dems are a happy family sometimes, but sometimes we love to argue. But the fact is, look, this city needs an alternative voice to what exists. I'm sure sometimes we get things right and sometimes we don't, but without it, if you look at it, there's no Conservative councillors in the city not going to get elected. The Greens concentrate 2 wards. UKIP will come and go. So what is the alternative to Labour? It has to be us. And like you say, yes, we're going through some difficult times on a national level, but I'm quite optimistic. And here he is now, David Baker. Round of applause for David Baker. He obviously doesn't realise what we said about him, but it's always positive. I mean, David Baker, I will say one thing to my older son, said to me, "Dad, Santa's here." And I looked, and I says, "Where?" And he says, "He's wearing chains." It was when David Baker was the Lord Mayor, and I realised now, as soon as I see him, I just remembered those words from Sahil. But David, thank you for what you've all, and You've timed it perfectly. We're just going to have the meal, so the best bit. Thank you, Mr. Ali. Thank you, Mr. Sahawal. Thank you, Rashad. Mr. Haji Mahbub, who's always quiet, the guy in the red jacket. He never says anything, but he's been one of the bedrocks. He came out and helped me deliver leaflets, just as Nazir did, just as Rashad and everyone else that came out and supported me in Crooks. We nearly did it, but you know, without your backing, I would have been nothing, guys. And thank you for all your help and guidance that you've given me. And let's see what the future holds. But I think under the current leadership of the Liberal Democrats, the doors to that leadership office will always be open. And if not, I'll be there to prize you open for you. Thank you.